Connection with Shade Network activated. Audio file download commencing. Files marked extremely sensitive. Strategic Homeland Division only. Agent, commencing transmission.
What's up, agents? You're listening to episode 181 of SITREPRadio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of the Division 2. This week we're talking heroics, explosion damage, and financial expectations. But first, my name is Mike, and joining me as always are my co-hosts Robert.
Hello.
And Luke.
Howdy.
Hope you guys and our listeners have had a great week, and welcome to any new listeners of the show. Before we get any further, I just want to say a huge shout out to anyone that's been dropping by our Division streams this week. It's meant a lot. It's been amazing. People have been like dropping by and going, great work you guys have been doing, and we appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Didn't you have a guy yesterday pop into stream chat who claims to listen every week but didn't know that we do streams, even though we say we do them every week?
Hey, if he listens, let's be honest. I don't even know if I could listen all the way to the end, so that's fair enough. I haven't even finished the end of Behind the Streams yet, and that's a 2.5 hour podcast with our good friend Boris. Sorry, Borry the Blade.
Good friend?
Well, I'd still tell him to fuck off, but standard, right?
Standard, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, just because I haven't done it for a while, quick heads up that if people like what we do here and like what we do on the stream and stuff, we do also have a Patreon, patreon.com/SITREPRadio. We post bonus stuff there from the show, and we do an additional monthly episode that is just for Patreon subscribers, where we are completely unchained and talking even more shit than we do on here. So if you want to head over there, feel free. You don't have to, but thank you anyway.
Yeah, the last one we recorded was Capitan Kevin. From our time, we caught up in Bristol in, was it at end of September now? End of September, wasn't it?
Wow, it's been a month already.
Yeah, it's been over a month.
It was the middle of September.
Pretty sure it was around the 25th.
Jesus.
Okay.
But yeah, we caught up with him and we had a huge conversation about a load of things, which was nice to do. It was nice to get all three of us in a room. So the sound quality might not be as good as normal, but good times. And there was beer definitely involved with that one. Yeah, that's it really for intros. I think the intro's done. Would you agree, Rob? Are you happy with that?
No, keep it going.
What, you just want to keep
another 10 minutes for intro, please.
Well, I'm sure you've guessed by now that there is no state of the game. It's on break this week, and it should be back the 30th. No, it's not the 30th. I can't remember the date next week. Was it the 3rd? No, that's not right.
It's be the 6th.
6th. Yeah, so this one's probably going to be a short episode this week. However, I'm pretty sure every time we say this,
it's twice as long.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours long. So, 2 hours? You ready, Rob?
No, I don't want to be recording for 2 hours.
How's your week been in the Division, boys?
We did lots of heroics this week, didn't we?
We did do lots of heroics. After last week's podcast, talking about the explosion damage and the difficulty of, the heroics and how they shouldn't change the difficulty because it makes it easier for people and all the rest of it. Wow. Wow. What a hole is all I can say. I definitely stepped in that one. Luke, do you want to kind of lay the land of what we did? Was it post-show last week or was it Thursday? I can't remember.
I can't remember the heroics we did first because they started off a little bit easy. You were kind of proven right to start with, and then we just jumped into Tidal Base and were like, holy fuck, hang on a minute. This just got a whole lot worse.
We failed, didn't we? Didn't we fail the first round?
The heroic missions we did kind of like were okay. They were a challenge, but like we could still fuck around until we got to the boss. Like the boss rooms was stressful.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And then we attempted Washington Monument, I want to say. No, not Washington Monument. What's it called? And we got like so far, and I just quit because I didn't want. We had to start from the beginning, and I didn't want. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and I wanted to go to bed.
Fuck, which one was it?
It wasn't Roosevelt, was it?
It was the DC building, whatever you want to call it. The one that was in
I can't remember off the top of my head.
the Congress building, whatever it's called.
Capitol Hill.
Capitol
that was
Hill,
it.
that's it.
I don't normally do that, but I was just like, that's freaking annoying to say. We played that through how many times? So we played that. We played that through for what, half an hour, and then we wiped near the end, didn't we?
Yeah, we were pretty much at the boss.
Yeah, it was about what, 11 o'clock at that point. We're like, nah, let's not do that. And then me and Luke went in for another 10 minutes. We couldn't get up the grass because we were just playing it with two of us, and we're like, wow, we're just getting bombed and wrecked as shit.
Yeah,
because it doesn't change.
Yeah, scale to 4. We've done
Yes.
everything as a group of 3, so
Yeah.
that made it a challenge for sure.
And then we went back the next night and we did that one. I'm pretty sure you had to do another mission as well. Well, I'm kind of thinking air and space, but I think that is this week's at the minute for Manning Zoo. That I'm doing Manning Zoo on Heroic this week. And yeah, we did that and then we jumped into Tidal Basin. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
It's awesome. That's all I can say. Like, Tidal Basin invaded on Heroic is absolutely insane.
I'd agree with that. I really enjoyed doing that.
And we did so well. And we wiped once on the luckily on the boss area.
Yeah,
Where Wyvern is.
I think that's the only place. I mean,
There's a
I
checkpoint.
can't. Yeah, I think it's the only place that there's a checkpoint. I can't confirm if there's one earlier because I've never wiped earlier, to be fair. But it's the second time I've done Tidal Basin Heroic. The first time was with Boris and a couple of randos, and it took forever. And then us 3 did it. And apparently we work better as a 3 than me and Boris do with 2 randos. So,
But also, I'm pretty sure, no, did we wipe that? I can't remember. Did we wipe Tidal Basin? I think we wiped it once, didn't we? I think we wiped it and then we went back in and then we wiped at the boss. I'm pretty sure we wiped earlier on.
All this wiping, someone must have taken a shit at some point.
3.
But yeah, it was pretty damn good. And I think it's the closest we've got to like legendary content in the division. Either that or our builds just aren't min-max at all, you know. I think we did pretty good. We played as a team of 3 and did correct content. I mean, even that in itself is a challenge.
Yeah, it was just that boss we wiped and then we reevaluated, tried a different tactic, it worked, and we did it pretty much. It was kind of easy.
Yeah, I do think it's funny though, because we did the 2 missions leading up to the stronghold. No input from Luke. I thought it was going to and we were just like fucking around. We like weren't really taking it seriously. It was only towards the end where it started ramping up that we were like, oh shit, this is pretty difficult. And yeah, explosions. Luke, are you happy with the changes made to explosions in the division?
That's the bit that's probably the closest to legendary difficulty from the first game, because if you remember the grenadiers from the first game that would sort of pre-explode on you and you just couldn't get out of the way, well, now apparently they just don't miss.
Yeah, they don't, because I remember Rob just going, get the grenader, quick.
Yeah,
because if one of them hits you, you're basically one shot.
Yeah,
grenadiers first, then it's the annoying drone controller people, then it's
because the drones one shot you as well almost.
Dogs and Johnny Fives, then it's Chungus, and then it's everybody else.
Yeah, so if you'd have watched our live stream of that, it would have been what? Grenade Man, Johnny Fives, Chungus. It was just us doing call-outs.
It's really weird how, because they've changed it. Like, I've had to stop myself from focusing the Chunguses and shooting other stuff because that's what, I don't know.
Yeah.
In the past, they do most damage, but now they don't.
You've got a nice delay on a Chungus as well, haven't you? Because he doesn't shoot from that far away, so he like wombles up to you and then decides to shoot you in the face with his minigun.
And you can stagger him like over and over again by shooting his bullets and stuff.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. It's just I'm looking. I want to do Manning Xeon whilst it's this week's. I think it's invaded at the minute. I really want to do that. I've done one of the missions so far. Heroic Air and Space. Wow, that's something. I played it as a team of 4 last night. But yeah, I honestly want to backtrack on what I said last week. I was worried about the difficulty being lowered. I don't think it's lowered, but then saying that, we played it as a team of 3, so I don't know, by doing that we kind of handicapped ourselves anyway.
Probably a touch.
Yeah. But
the loot's good as well. Like,
yeah, the loot is very good.
At least 2 name stuff every mission.
Well, at not Oxygen FR on Twitter reached out and basically said, at SITREPRadio, I feel like the Division 2 community hasn't pointed out enough that you have a guaranteed named item once a week after reset in invaded missions on heroic mode. Feels kind of like the weekly exotic cash you would have got in legendary missions in Division 1. And that's a hell of a good point. I don't feel like I don't even think it's on the infographic, like on the mission details. Should it? Well, yeah, I suppose for everyone to kind of know, because exotic caches were on the info basically on the map for missions in Division 1. But yeah,
it says a 1, but I was getting at least 2.
Yeah, but that's mission. Just your fucking standard RNG, dude.
Like, I'm not surprised at that.
I'm pretty sure I only got 1 from Tidal Basin. I might be remembering wrong, but I'm pretty sure I did.
Rob, what are your thoughts on obviously difficulty and the changes they made last week? Because they obviously told us what they did, what's happened with explosion damage. Do you feel like after running the heroic missions, it was a good kind of choice to make, good kind of direction to take it? Or?
Yeah, because it makes it difficult in a different way. Like, without having, it kind of goes away from the bullet sponginess of everything, because you kind of have to avoid the explosions.
I kind of felt, going off avoid explosions, I don't know if Luke could agree, but we could not really stay in one place, I felt, at any time.
I'd agree with that.
And obviously going off what Drew said, they changed the AI, so like instead of just one guy doing shitloads of damage, they're trying to utilize 1 or 2 or even more AI NPCs to kind of push forward and force you into different places and stuff like that. I just thought I really do think that's a really cool way of playing these missions.
All I do know is I need to work some hazard protection into my build.
So you keep saying hazard protection, and all I can think of is hazard perception through the whole bloody thing. I was like, what do I need? Hazard perception. Yeah, you probably need that as well, but there we go. That's a different topic.
SAR, dude. You need
some
SAR.
So I was about to say, that's
SAR.
Basically SAR, isn't it?
But yeah, we're pretty happy with heroic missions, do you reckon?
Yeah. They're enjoyable.
Yep. Yes.
I'd agree with that.
If you haven't done it, even if you're playing solo or something like that, go matchmake, go try them out. It's definitely worth it. And you get it's guaranteed named loot from it. So
it's good to hear Rob say that he enjoyed it as well, because he's been one that's normally said, no, I can't be bothered to do it on heroic. There's no point. So now there's some reward at the end of it. I'm just wondering how long he's going to be around until he's got all the named items. It's just like, well, it's not fucking worth it anymore. I can't be bothered.
Got black T-Rex as well.
Yeah, I honestly wondered where you were going with that. Yeah. But to be fair, he did bail on us on that first run of Capital.
Yeah, but
after 45 minutes or half an hour, whatever it was, I mean, fair enough.
I was tempted to bail. I thought, do you know what? Fuck it, let's 2-man it. And then quickly regretted that decision. It's like, yeah, fuck it. I'm going to bed like Rob did.
Okay, so on Monday this week, I decided to jump into Kenley College. And I was like, well, I want... Huh?
Did you learn anything?
Yes, I learned something. There's actually some content in there, dude. And I'm kind of gutted, right, that I left it to the last day. Bear in mind, it's been up for 2 weeks. I know you were pissed off about the fact it's been retracted after 2 weeks. You were just like, I mean, what did you say? It was just like, leave it in there or something?
Yeah. It's content. Why would they take content out of the game?
I don't know. I'm hoping next week's State of the Game, they announce there's going to be a different modifier for it. I'm hoping that's the case.
But it's only going to be back for a week.
What, a week on, week off?
Week on, 2 weeks off. So I think you got to wait 2 weeks now, and then you get it for a week. And then it's 2 weeks off again.
I thought it was up for 2 weeks, away for 2 weeks, then back for 2 weeks.
That was just for the first rotation.
But I don't remember anything being said about changing the modifiers.
No, they did say that.
They did. All right,
Yeah.
okay. That's good. Because
It was the state of the game with Chip on it. No, sorry, not Chip,
No, it's-
Trip.
Trip. No, it wasn't Trip. It was Trick. Was it Trick?
No, it's,
No, Trip Dempsey.
yes, Trip.
Yeah, fuck me. What's going on today? But yeah, I basically jumped into Kenley College. Have either of you guys done it since it's been back?
No. Hell no.
Luke was in chat with me the entire time I was playing it, so I don't know how it went, how it sounded. But I jumped into Kenley College. It was Trick Dempsey. Fuck you.
No,
Sorry,
in my
I'm
head it's not.
You, go on, you can message him later. Hi, Trip.
In your head, his name's Chip. So
I gotta say, good job, because I loaded in. I was like, well, I'm not playing it on story. Fuck that. I don't need loot. I want to try and play the mastery system. So to get gold on, I think it's at Kenley College. One of the wings, basically, depending on your team size, it's like either 20 minutes or 25 minutes. You have to complete each wing, like, of that section within 20 to 25 minutes. You got 3 objectives to do in 20 to 25 minutes. And I stuck it on challenging. And then I loaded in, and holy shit. That
What,
plus
solo?
the modifier. Huh?
Solo.
I did it solo to start with.
They're like, oh, I can't do this.
No, I did all right, but you've literally, it's really fucking weird because you die and then you go back to the beginning and then you go again, but your time doesn't reset. You think your time would reset and it would give you the chance because you start the whole thing again. It doesn't, it's really weird. It doesn't reset your time when you die. And it's on challenge and I was getting rushed like hell. So the modifier is basically, I can't remember the perk from Call of Duty, and this is the thing that I think I was saying to you guys about. But upon death, basically NPCs drop a bomb, and it's almost instant. There might be like a second delay or a 2-second delay, but if you're in close proximity to NPCs, it's like holy fuck, you got to get out of the way. So if you've got 3 or 4 of them around you, and you've got to kill them because otherwise you're going to die, you've then got to get out of there as well. And
So don't use a shotgun, is what you're saying.
Yeah, don't use a shotgun, no. Seekers, pretty damn good, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I really enjoyed it, and to me, it felt like the closest to Underground we've probably got in this game, but without, obviously, the, I forget what it's called, the where it reshapes it. What is it in Underground? It is something generated, isn't it?
Procedural.
Without that, but it still kind of feels like that kind of Underground. You go in, you've got a challenge, you've got the modifier, and you run it with. I went in as a team of 4, and we did it. I think we did it in, it was like 23 minutes. So I got silver at least. But
You suck.
well, we got stuck on the bit where. Do you remember in Kenley College, there's like a whole switch section that you have a fuse box puzzle you've got to sort out. Trying to do that between 4 people with no communication didn't go very well. It took about 2 minutes off. But I really wanted you guys to try it or to do it with you guys because I think it would be really fun. But I kind of feel like
Disagree.
it kind of sucks. I wish I tried that a lot sooner. Because I said to Luke, I was like, fuck. They've took it away now, and that was on Tuesday after reset.
I can just imagine that being more annoying with the explosions.
I don't know. You just like obviously already with the explosion damage, you've got to be on your feet, but there's like the bit where you have to hold the laptops in different areas, so you have to move around anyway, and then the NPCs are rushing to you and all the rest of it. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I don't know what it sounded like in chat to Luke.
I wasn't paying any attention because I was playing Tarkov. So
fair enough. I don't know what you're doing in Tarkov because I know when you get pissed you mute yourself. So, but I can normally tell because it's just silent.
I wasn't raging. I was just paying a lot of attention because like you were talking and you were streaming anyway. So I thought, well, people don't necessarily want to listen to me talking about Tarkov when they're watching you play Division 2 because that just gets a bit weird. So I was just concentrating and listening for footsteps, and then every few seconds you'd be like, oh shit, and oh, this ain't going to work. These guys aren't talking to each other. Oh, we're dead again. So,
no, it's definitely good.
It just turned into white noise at some point.
Yeah. And basically, the last thing we did this week, PvP. We played Elimination. Luke?
I don't want to talk about PvP.
Please talk about it. Because
I was raised that if you've got nothing nice to say, you don't say anything at all.
I played one game, and that was enough. It was probably a little bit too much, actually, to be honest. I probably should have just left halfway through the game.
You should have left after you loaded in.
I actually just, towards the end, I was just like running towards them and dying just to get it over and done with. We went up against a team that was just sitting on a roof and throwing skills and killing us.
With sniper rifles, I believe?
With the skills.
Literally just skills.
I got killed with Seekers and a flying turret, like several times.
That is the meta in the minute, though.
It's a shit meta.
It is a shit meta.
And how is that fun in a gun game?
But I feel like we've had this meta before. What are the chances?
It's a gun game.
I know. I've always... Well,
not using gun.
What do you think of the meta? Because obviously we're seeing builds come out of this, and you're seeing different builds than we've had before, like 12 and is it like 6 or something, 6 defense, and then we've still got these hybrid builds in there that are still able to deal damage, be tanky, and have enough skill to run Seekers and obviously Hive, which now causes bleed damage, plus Technician, which doubles your skill power.
Yeah. Yeah, it needs to be they need to change the modifier to skills in PvP. Not to completely, like, neuter it, but make it so you have to spec into skill power for it to do enough damage to one-shot people.
Yeah, completely agree. Because, like, even there's... I don't know if you've looked at your PvP damage, but the PvP damage isn't a great deal on some of the Seekers. I think you can get... Is it 500k if you use the single one? The explosive one?
Mm-hmm.
But that's the maximum you can get, like, damage-wise. Anything above 3k skill power is absolutely pointless on a build at the minute. I don't understand why we don't have mods that go higher than that. If you're going to spec into electronics, do it. Give us better return on investment like we had in the Division 1.
I suppose that would do it, wouldn't it? If you changed the modifier and then increased the mod, like make the mods more linear, not just stop at 3,000.
Yeah, because you have to have like 3,000 to have what? I think the max roll I've got is like 99% damage mod for a Seeker Mine. But I'm sure you can go higher than that if you have, you could probably easily get to like 4, maybe even double skill power, because we managed to do it before before Technician was about. We managed to get to like 3k skill power when we didn't have Technician. So there's got to be a way to do it. Luke, what do you think of the current meta in PvP?
I'll go along with what Rob says. I hated it. I stuck around for a bit longer than Rob did, but I detested every minute we spent playing Elimination and Conflict and whatever else we were playing. The Dark Zone's a bit more enjoyable, but not a lot, because those builds are finding their way into the Dark Zone as well, because we got killed a couple of times when we were rogued by literally exactly what we just said, Seeker Mines and the flying turrets. So people are going to figure out that it works in Conflict version of PvP, so why the hell would it not work in the DZ PvP? And that's just going to get even worse as well.
Because I got really excited because I got a couple of name pieces named Sniper, and I wanted to try it out, and I couldn't because they were just hiding in cover and chucking skills at me.
Mm.
Yeah, but I even felt like cover wasn't working properly. I don't know if you guys felt that, but like I was behind a car a couple of times. It's never. It still feels like you can be shot. Sorry.
No, it never has worked. If you for a cover-based shooter, they keep wanting to try and slow things down, but the second you find yourself in cover in a PvP scenario, you're writing yourself a death sentence.
Unless you've got skills that are really good.
Wow.
Sweet skills.
Yeah, but you're not necessarily in cover then, are you? Because, like you said, they were on an elevated position, weren't they? So they were kind of hiding rather than in cover, which was just pathetic. But I mean, I'll just get my PvP kicks from somewhere else. It's fine.
Yeah, but it's a shame because we want, like, the downside is we want to play PvP. Am I wrong in saying we want to play PvP in the division, much like what we did? And now we're at the lull point where we have no content, and there's no point playing PvP at the minute.
It is a shame. I agree with what you're saying, and I've tried to put a couple of PvP builds together, and then the second you've spent, I don't know, what, 10, 15 hours grinding for the perfect pieces, whatever, you go in to play 2 games of conflict and think, well, that was a fucking waste of time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's only getting worse. You know, the game's, what, 6 months old, 7 months old, and they keep changing PvE for the better, to be fair to them, because the PvE game at the moment is really enjoyable. I've done a lot of, since episode 2 came out, I've done a lot of control points. I've finished that commendation and got all the blueprints that I can possibly get. I've done loads of heroic missions with you guys, as we spoke about earlier. I'm getting a nice named weapon collection going. I think literally the only thing to do since episode 2 dropped that we haven't done yet again is the raid, just to see how that's changed.
Which we're trying to sort out at the minute. So me and you can both potentially get Eagle Bearers. I've been really enjoying playing PvE again for a couple of weeks. I've just drifted back to Tarkov, and that's not Division's fault. It's literally because Tarkov has just dropped a new update. None of which is me playing PvP, because it just gets worse every patch. Thing is, it started off okay. Like when we went back into the Dark Zone to start with, that was fine because everyone was still trying to find builds. But the minute these, the new meta of Seeker and using the Hive comes out, it's not good. And then the thing is, people are remaining tanky with that as well. I just don't understand the mindset behind that at all. I really thought these builds were going to be phased out with TU6. It's not. It's not at all.
Let's move on.
I'll get my loot-based PvP from Tarkov, and I'll get my gun-based PvP from COD. It's fine.
I will say, the time we did spend in the Dark Zone this week, I didn't hate. Not as much as I did Elimination. And I'm really pissed about Elimination because it's a good game mode. Because I heard someone complaining about the fact that it's too slow. It's Elimination in a tactical cover-based shooter. What?
And that right there is your problem.
Did I miss something, Rob?
That person's probably
an idiot.
Someone that just runs in and dies and then has to wait for the rest of the team to finish the round. So he's just sat there bored.
Well, I don't know. I don't get the mentality. It's like, you think when we used to play Trials, which is always what I've kind of referred to with Elimination. It could be fast paced, but you had to be, you had to think about what you were going to do. There were strategies and stuff like that, and there's just nothing like that in Elimination at the minute, which really sucks. Because I'll be honest, I wanted this game mode. I wanted custom matches. We got one of them, but I don't know. It's not great. Anyway, let's move on to final topic of today, because I know Rob wants to disappear. Okay, so it's been announced apparently that the Division 2 and Ghost Recon Breakpoint were commercial failures, I believe, is the headline that a lot of places are using at the minute. Luke?
Yeah, I believe that's correct. If it's not the word failure, it's definitely the word disappointment. But I think it depends which publication you're reading.
Yeah. So basically, the Division 2 and especially Breakpoint, Ghost Recon Breakpoint hasn't lived up to Ubisoft sales expectations by the looks of it. Critical sales and reception, critical reception and sales during the game's first weeks were very disappointing.
Wait,
that was more so with
Breakpoint,
Breakpoint,
right?
That is Breakpoint. Yeah. They did say to a lesser extent the Division underperformed.
Sales-wise, not critically, because critically it came out to quite good reviews, but the sales weren't quite up to. The problem with this is it's a little bit subjective because it depends how high Ubisoft set the bar.
Right. Well, let's just go back a little bit. So 2016 the Division came out?
Yes.
right? It was the highest. Was it the highest grossing Ubisoft title? And I think for that year, it was also the best-selling game, I believe. I know it was one of the best-selling Ubisoft franchises ever at that point.
It was definitely the best-selling brand new IPO.
Yeah.
Of 2016. I don't know
the
if it was
beta
the
won
best-selling
awards as well, didn't it?
Yeah. It did really
Yeah.
well, basically. They sold probably a fuck ton of copies of that game. And then we got to March this year, and it turns out, Ubisoft reports this. Well, it was July 17th, 2019, and a financial report goes out saying that basically, it was the industry's biggest hit of this year so far. That obviously back in July. So the Division 2 did well. Luke, you had some sales actual.
Well, I've got sales actuals.
Sales actuals.
Well, in the US, as of
Tomorrow.
No.
or yesterday, whenever you're listening to this.
No, I think this US-based article was published in September. So this is US sales only for 2019. The Division 2 is currently 9th in the top 10, with NBA 2K20 and Madden NFL 20 very close to each other at 1 and 2, which are, basketball and American football games in the US market doing really well.
That explains why they make those games.
Okay, what's number 3 on that list? I'm interested. What?
Mortal Kombat 11.
What? All right, keep going. Go down the list.
So you've got 2K20, NFL 20, Mortal Kombat 11, Borderlands 3.
That makes sense.
Kingdom of Hearts 3, whatever that is.
Yep.
Pokemon Sword. Apparently that doesn't include...
That hasn't even come out yet. What?
Well, that's not including digital sales. So, I mean, that must be... Pre-orders, because the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order game is on there as well. That's not released yet, is it? I don't think.
No. It's next week, I think.
And then COD's on there, Division's on there, and Ghost Recon Breakpoint's on there.
What? So Ghost Recon Breakpoint is in the top 10?
For US only, yes.
Wow. So Ubisoft still have 2 top 10 games this year.
It's not good enough, Mike.
That's still pretty good. And in UK, you said it was different.
Enough,
in the
well,
UK.
The UK is different. I could give you all day and you wouldn't be able to tell me what the highest selling video game for the first 6 months of 2019 was.
Is it FIFA?
No. That's second.
I was fucking close, though.
Tom Clancy's Division 2 is third.
Tell us the first. Come on.
The highest selling
Solitaire.
UK video game for the first
Anthem.
6 months of 2019 was GTA 5.
What the fuck?
That game is 5 years old. Or 4 years old, one of the two.
Yeah, but they brought out like role-playing stuff, didn't they?
Yeah. So the first 6 months of 2019, it's GTA 5, FIFA 19, TD2, Red Dead Redemption 2, Resident Evil 2, Days Gone, Rainbow Six Siege, Black Ops 4, Anthem, and then Forza Horizon 4. Now, this was published in August, and Tom Clancy The Division 2's sales as of August were over 265,000.
Wow.
In the UK alone. I know Japan, it sold 60,000 plus in the first week alone. So it's not completely failed. That's what I say. When my comment earlier was based on, depends how high Ubisoft set the bar, based on how much money they put into it above and beyond what they put into the first release, and how much they expected the second release to do better than the first one did. So,
yeah, see, that was going to be my main talking point, is the fact, like, we don't know what their expectations were, because the thing is, you're always going to expect to do better than you did last time. That should, like, in theory, should always be what you're aiming for, right? So if they're under sales expectations, it could be in line with what it was back in 2016.
I feel like Ghost Recon's getting a bit of a bad rap, because the week that came out, Uplay Plus came out, which means you could play that game with Uplay Plus, right? Which means you technically didn't buy the game, you bought Uplay Plus. Which means people are playing it that way, which would take away from the sales.
Because didn't you get to try Uplay Plus for free for a month as well?
Yes, but it stopped
Ended just before.
okay.
the day before.
They were very clever with that.
So you had to pay for it again.
That's not a bit. That is a very, very sneaky way of doing it, isn't it? Oh, try it a month before Breakpoint comes out.
And you might forget
Well, yeah,
to cancel your subscription.
I know I've definitely done that with a few subscription services in the past.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Amazon, fuck you.
Now, I know you shouldn't really trust Wikipedia very much because people can make shit up on Wikipedia and just edit whatever they want to.
I do that on a daily basis.
Have you been on the Wikipedia for the Division 2 sales today?
No.
Right, so you've not changed this then.
I'm not telling you if I did.
Those sales figures I gave you for Japan were the physical units for PS4 sales in the first week. So it sold over 60,000 PS4 units. But they do go on to say that the sales figures for the first week were only 20% of what the original Games Week sales were believed to be across all platforms in like worldwide release. So it probably hasn't done as well as they were hoping for, but they do go on to say that a lot of articles have said that it's console sales that have failed to meet Ubisoft's expectations specifically, with Ubisoft later citing that increased competition in the genre as a factor, leading to the game's disappointing performance thus far.
I'd love to know the profit margins.
Ubisoft went on to add that sales on PC were similar to that of the first game.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow, that's interesting because I would have thought a lot of people would have moved from console to PC for the Division 2. I know a lot of people that have done that, and that felt like it was something they were pushing on the lead up to the launch of the Division 2. I don't know if either of you guys thought that at all, because they were putting out trailers left and right. They took the partnership with AMD as well, so it was really like, if you want to play the game, PC kind of feels like it's the best place to play it, but you can still obviously play it on Xbox and PS4. But it is interesting because if you look at the reasons that they deem as how the games have underperformed. The first is it's harder to generate interest for a sequel to a live multiplayer game when prior iterations have benefited from years of optimization. Therefore, we need to make sure that there is more time between each iteration of live games. Rob, if you were to fucking hell, I cannot talk today.
Decipher
that sentence. What would you gain from that?
I don't know. Say it again.
Luke.
They're going to space out releases.
So let's be honest. We had a 3-year cycle between the Division 1 and Division 2. Do not expect the Division 3, if and when it happens, within 3 years. They're going to wait. Which makes sense, doesn't it?
They want people to forget about the game, and then the next game will feel more fresh.
Well, this is it. Like, maybe the game didn't do very well because of all the bad rep off the back of the first one. It had a lot of the player base fell off the back of it. It was only really the hardcore audience that stuck with it. Like, some people were just like burnt once and won't go back.
Also, you could say the opposite. Like, people liked certain parts of the first game, and then they came into the second one, and it wasn't anything like that, which turned them away as well. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, look at Luke. Luke, you're one and done with Destiny 2.
Yes.
Which is unfortunate, sort of thing, like. But if you can imagine that opinion being applied to the Division 1, and then being like, no, I'm not going to play the sequel, because why should I? The second, the strategy of introducing gameplay innovations in our games has had a very positive impact on our brands. Look at all the updates we had in the Division 1, obviously with 1.8. However, to win over the players, these innovations need to be perfectly implemented in order to offer an optimal experience. That sounds to me like we're going to allow more time to get things right and make sure stuff like is implemented properly. This has not yet been the case with Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I'm going to be honest, I could see that coming a mile away when we played the No, the closed alpha. That was nowhere near launch at the time, was it? I couldn't believe at that point that it was, what, three months from the release?
Yeah. But then that's being said everywhere now. Like, the game developers are getting shit on for bringing out games that are half done.
Yeah.
And calling it a live game. So they can finish it while making money. Stupid.
Yeah, and basically off the back of this, there's Gods and Monsters, Rainbow Six, Quarantine, Watch Dogs has been pushed from 2020 to 2021, so it could be anyone then.
What's that game that they announced like 3 years ago that's still in development? That's a sequel.
What, Beyond Good and Evil?
Yeah.
Oh, the thing is, they announced that ages ago. They probably didn't start production.
There was a whole thing where you could design your own characters and stuff in the game.
That was last year.
No, it wasn't. It was 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Swear to you?
They said nothing about that last year at E3, but it was the year before that they announced that was happening. And that game isn't coming out for probably another 3-4 years.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're holding that game back for the next iteration of consoles, to be honest.
I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Might be a launch title.
But obviously, reading that, how do you think the next few years are going to go with The Division, Luke?
Well, if they're going to give us longer between releases, so Division 3 will be 2019. So let's say
2023,
4, maybe even 5.
Mm-hmm.
So that space it out a bit. You want people to forget and start the whole nostalgia stream of remember how good Division 2 was when it first came out. Blah blah blah. It's like, well, no, actually, it wasn't that great. But yeah, I'd like another one. At some point, obviously, they're going to have to stop giving us any attention at all, so that the game will just naturally reach its own demise, I suppose.
Why?
But what do you mean, why?
Well, look at Siege. That game gets better every time they update it.
Correct, but as far as I'm aware, there aren't, or there might not be any plans for a sequel to Rainbow Six Siege. Like, ignoring that Quarantine's got nothing to do with it because it's a PvE mode.
But isn't that the problem with The Division? We had fuck tons of problems with The Division 1, which could technically only be sorted by basically making the game from scratch again with The Division 2, learning from the mistakes of the past.
Rip.
Should it not be a case now? We kind of go the route of Destiny and just have major expansions now.
Yeah, but that's what I was trying to say. If they know that they're not going to bring another game out for, let's say, 5 years, so 2024, obviously they've already got the roadmap for what they were bringing out this year. They'll probably have the start of a roadmap for next year, and then to keep players interested and maybe bring people back and bring a major expansion a la what Destiny does, and get you to basically buy the game again. I mean, what was Shadowkeep, 30 quid, Rob?
Yeah. So
let's say Division do something like that and bring a massive expansion out for year 3 that basically just redoes all the old content.
Expansion.
Loads of new content, rehashes all the old content, new game modes, new PvP modes, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Then that's year 3 done. Year 4, you just eke that out a little bit more. Then year 5, it's done because the new one's coming out. You start getting the E3 trailers and whatever for Division 3 then, don't you? So, you certainly can't expect much else this year because, we already know what episode 3 is going to be based around, the trip back to NYC. Who knows how big or small that content drop's going to be. A lot of people are already hoping that year 2 is a lot bigger because, they'll want us to pay for it. So if you follow that model, if you follow the slope up, year 3 could be pretty big, but it would be a major expense as well, I would think, i.e. like what we've just said about Shadowkeep, 20, 30 quid worth of expansion, which is, it's not cheap,
But it's no different to the season pass. It's not early access.
I agree, but if people
Either.
are paying 50, 60 quid for a game that's not finished and then expected to buy a season pass for it, and then you pay for year 2 and then you pay for year 3 expansions, you've got 60 quid for the game. Season pass was 30 quid if you bought it at the time. Let's say year 2 is half the price of that, so 15, 20 quid. That's 80, that's 100 quid. Then you've got another expansion on top of that. Before you know it, you've dropped 120 quid on one video game.
But would you actually say the game's unfinished? Apart from PvP, yes, PvP needs a rework, but if you're looking for a PvE point of view, it's got a story, the main campaign, you can get to end game. There is technically a fully fleshed out game there. Like if this was a single player game, you've had more than your time. Do I want to say that?
No, I agree. I still would say I've had my money's worth out of Division 2.
But I kind of feel like this is the direction. Like what I don't understand is you're trying to make a sequel to a live multiplayer game, right? You look at games like Warframe, Star Wars: The Old Republic, Warcraft, things like that. They don't bring out sequels. They just keep expanding it. Destiny is going that route, and I'm hoping Julian Garrity and all the rest and the other creative directors are looking at Destiny to be like, this is what these guys are doing. As far as I know, there's no sequel to Destiny coming anytime soon, Rob?
No, they've actually stated that they're going to support this game for a bit longer. But what would you expect from a big content? I mean, obviously, Destiny you get a whole new planet every time there's a DLC. So would you expect another city? And if they're going to follow the route of Destiny, does that mean they're just going to rehash old content and just give you New York? The new skin over it?
I think we can go to different places without having the whole city. I think we can rehash the content that we've already got in the Division 2 with regards to the actual world. And I think we need replayable modes, and that will come as a part of it. It would be nice as part of an expansion that we had replayable mode, raid, updates to PvP, and a world tier, and then obviously you're going to have like gear to go chase after as well. I could see something like that happening, but the only problem is if you start paying for raids, they better be on time. Because people are going to be pissed because they've actually thrown their money. Do you know what I mean? Because if the raids are technically free, you're just paying for early access to other content.
I would be. Do you know what? I'd be happy if they like just took New York from the first game, because they can do that. Obviously, it's a different engine, but it can't be that different, surely. They could just copy and paste, change it a little bit, because obviously time's moved on. You know?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be the whole thing either. I mean, they can give us bits at a time. Drip feed us like they have been. Start with Brooklyn.
Again.
Yeah.
Is that really what you want?
Yeah. I'd love that.
Oh, just go play the Division 1.
No.
No
I've
space on
installed
my hard drive. Yeah. I don't know, Luke. What would you want an expansion? Would you pay for an expansion? Would you want yearly expansions that you would pay for?
I probably would pay for them, yes, because Division fanboy at heart, and I can't really deny that. I don't know though. I feel like I'm actually glad that I didn't pay for the year 1 pass for this at the moment, because all you've got is early access. Like you're not getting anything really for your 30 quid. Like you got to play the 2 missions a week earlier than I did, and you played them once for your 30 quid, and then to be fair, you might have waited because
don't rub it in.
I played them twice because I played them once, and then I got my money's worth because I played them with you.
So,
I will be honest. I've done the, what was it? What's it called?
Jeez.
The Mexican embassy mission for the classified assignments.
Oh yeah, I forgot you got those as exclusives.
Yeah, I did one of those last night.
Right,
it's good.
Those are really good. I haven't done the new ones yet.
What I was trying to say was, depending on if I bought the first expansion, let's say they bring out 2 expansions, one for year 2 and one for year 3. If the year 2 one was shit and I'd paid 30 quid for it, I wouldn't be buying the second one. Because, burn me once, my fault. Burn me twice. No. Burn me once, forgiven, I suppose. But burn me twice, be my fault. I feel like I dodged a bullet not getting the season pass or the year 1 pass, whatever you call it, straight away. So buy a year 2 expansion and it's not very good. I'm not saying it wouldn't be very good. I'm just saying if it wasn't very good, I wouldn't buy the third one. So they'd have to be careful how they did it. They'd have to make it definitely
a lot more
decent content drop.
Yeah, and then make it a lot more clear than they did the first time around. I don't think it was as clear, but if you look back, like apart from the stash space, everything is what they said. It's literally early access, vanity, and the specializations.
If you go back to Division 1, I was very happy with what we got for the what did they call it? Was it the season pass or whatever they called it the first time round? The year the year 1 pass the first time round, the 3 DLCs. That felt like money well spent. Like I wasn't the biggest fan of Underground.
You think
we played it for a bit?
Understatement, that is.
but you think, right? The game at the minute has done well since launch. You would agree with that? It's been out to critical praise and all the rest of it. But don't you think it's fucking funny that we are basically in the same place as Division 1? Yet again, there's no end game again. Yes, we've got Raid, but we were kind of promised it, and there's no replayable content at the minute, which I really hope they sort out for year 2 and year 3. We need decent content moving forward. If they want the player base and the franchise to stay alive, I really do think that's what they need to do. I don't know if you agree with that, Rob.
Yeah.
Because you think by now, back in Division 1, we would have had Underground. But
you didn't.
Sky.
In Division 1, you didn't have all the other stuff that you could already do.
No, but that's what we've already kind of discussed before. Maybe the fact that we now have all that stuff.
What did we do?
I know. We did the Dark Zone.
Well, I did. I don't know about you two. You didn't play it to start with, did you? So
we just found exploits, didn't we? That's all we did.
Yeah. Falcon's Lost.
I mean,
climb a ladder.
As critical as we can be, and obviously we're basing this on the sales reports and whatever else that have come out recently. The game is not quite 7 months old yet, and I've put 350 hours into it.
Amateur.
I know Mike's at a similar number, probably a touch less.
I'm heading towards 300 now.
And Rob's over 500, if I'm not mistaken.
Need to up his numbers, boys.
They're rookie numbers.
Yeah, you'll have played 4 other games by the time we catch up to your numbers.
I'm just wondering if the community as a whole have got their expectations set a bit high as well. Like, is part of it our fault?
It's kind of fucked though, because we want more, but we don't want anything to change. We want it exactly the same, but more, but different.
I'm just putting it out there. It's like
no, you're not wrong.
Because I've played the Division the Division 2 a lot, and then I moved away to Tarkov because I wanted to get back into that. And then obviously I was getting my PvP kicks from it. And then I bought the new computer and I definitely wanted to try Tarkov on that because towards the end of the life cycle of me using the laptop, it was really struggling for Tarkov.
You're a Destiny boy.
And then the new patches dropped, so I've wanted to play that. All I'm saying is if there aren't that many hours that I've given to other games for not playing Division. Like I played a bit of Siege. And then I played a bit of PUBG, but we didn't have that big a break from Division, did we? It was what,
no.
2-3 weeks tops when we said we weren't playing it. I know Rob's probably been not playing it for longer, but he's played it longer anyway. So
that's what
I'm allowed. Is that what you're saying?
Pardon?
I'm allowed to have bigger breaks because I played it for longer.
Well, no, it's weird that you've had bigger breaks even though you've played it longer. It doesn't add up. It just shows how little you do around the house.
And at work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just find it very odd. We're in the same place again.
I'd love to know what my hours of play were on Division 1 after 7 months, now that I know what my hours of play are on Division 2 after 7 months, and see how skewed they were. Because I
think
know
still a lot.
I know from playing Division 1, I played the story very slowly.
Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, I remember you saying that, and you said you were going to do the same with the second one, which you did. Rob had already done it within 2 days,
About 10 minutes.
or the first day.
Yeah, I had to keep up with Boris.
But that's another thing. I think all three of us took a week off work to play it. I've never done that for a video game before. I'll probably never do it again.
I didn't take any time off.
You were sick.
Yeah, I was ill.
Well, all right. You didn't go to work to play a video game. Same difference.
I'm gonna call bullshit, but yeah. I just hope the time that they're gonna take to postpone stuff moving forward, it just means we're gonna get more updates, more content, and they're just gonna spend a bit more time with the games that we have currently out here, which means we'll probably have the Division 2 hopefully around for the foreseeable future with some content. And you kind of think about it, like, who was the raid done by? Was it Reflections?
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just gonna say yeah because I don't know. Nor do I really care.
Because you want to play Outer Worlds.
This game is really good though.
Yeah, I want to play it. Shh. But the team at Massive have to be working on something, and Redstone have to be doing
the next.
They've got to be doing, yeah, probably. But they have to. If they could turn around 1.8 in the amount of time that they had, what was it, a year? Imagine if we had 1.8 on a yearly basis in the division.
Yeah, but you don't know how it works, dude. You don't know, like, the studio might be doing multiple games and they might have only a team of 3 people. Whereas back in the day, they might have had a team of like 15 people.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Well, if it's a team of 3 people and Rasmus left, fuck. That means there's only 2 people left.
Rasmus doesn't work for Redstone.
No, for Massive. You didn't specifically say Redstone.
Also, they're moving.
Yes.
That's like...
quite a big thing.
Yeah, that's going to slow shit down as well. Because they're going to have to, stop working and move. Luke's gone to sleep.
Yeah, let's end this shit show now. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next.
Can I just say for the record, I'm not asleep before people think, oh shit, he's actually gone to sleep.
You know how you said this is going to be a short show?
It is a short show.
Well,
it's over an hour,
sure
right?
This is on par to what we normally do.
If Boris was on, it'd be even longer.
Oh, another hour and a half.
If Boris was on, we'd still be on the introduction.
We wouldn't have said anything.
We're talking about what beer he's fucking drinking for the podcast. We'd be like, yeah, well, this one was brewed using fucking barrels that were found by Vikings and whatever else. I don't fucking know what he talks about.
Viking barrels. I want some of that beer.
Barrels that were found by Vikings
and given down.
I really want to know that
generation.
No, but they were found by Vikings. So somehow there's like
they were made by Greek people.
There was a colony of people that were even older than the Vikings that made barrels.
So the Greeks
in Norway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, you've now given Boris something to research to find out how old the oldest beer is, so he can prove who made barrels first. Well done, Mike. Well fucking done.
Yeah. Well, Boris, if you do want to send us the answers to that question, Robert, where can they find us? Where can he find us?
Wow, look at that segue. That was amazing. I'm in awe. You can find us over at SITREPRadio on Twisted Radio.
Are you sure you're not in a barrel?
I can't stop smiling. That was amazing.
What has happened today?
Yeah, you can find us over at SITREPRadio on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as our personal accounts. Please send any questions or feedback for the show.
Any question.
To sitradiopod@gmail.com. Except for you, Boris. Fuck you.
They don't even need to be questions about the game.
Or you can find us on Discord. The link's in the show notes. We want to hear your thoughts on the news and topics we cover, so be sure to leave a comment and join the discussion any of those places. Luke?
Can you keep talking while I compose myself?
I'm gonna be honest. Like, it's, what happened with your accent towards the end of reading that? It's like,
I don't know.
He was trying to hold back the Welsh because they're shit at rugby.
He sounds
top
he
four,
sounds like
dude.
Jack Whitehall's dad towards the end.
You know you don't get anything for finishing fourth, right, Rob?
They might come third. They've got to do the last game, yeah. But they're
And
not
welcome
gonna win
to
that, so-
Rugby Watch with Luke, Mike, and Rob.
Please leave a review of the show using the podcast app of your choice. We really do enjoy reading all of them. The feedback is excellent, and at the end of the day, it does actually help other people to find our show too. If you listen all the way to the very end of this lovely podcast, you will hear all the juicy details about the other awesome shows that are available on the Mash Those Buttons network. Please stop watching rugby, and thank you.
Why the fuck did I say Rugby Watch? And also lovely. Wow. We do live stream as often as we can, so if you're interested in dropping by and chatting with us whilst we play Division and some other games, you can find us over at twitch.tv/SITREPRadio. Anything you want to add before we leave, Rob?
Destiny. That's all.
We have been SITREPRadio. Thank you very much for listening to us, and we will catch you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Talk off.
Sequence complete. Security protocols deactivated. Server data replaced and CPU destroyed. Terminating connection in 3, 2.
Short podcast.
You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction